every muscle group with some isometric holds, coupled with some cardio elements. You'll need some light hand weights. We're doing an isometric prone fly, and an isometric lying crucifix, some swings, then you'll need a kettlebell, and the rest is pretty much body weight. Right, let's get warmed up, and I'll go through the details with you. Okay, so come on, stop first. Head chest pull. Open up the spine. Okay, so today's routine consists of dual EMOMs. Every minute on the minute, 2 exercises. One of them is like a moving cardio, high intensity one. The other one, every even minute, every second minute, is an isometric hold, focusing on a different muscle group for each. So we've got one for pull, one for legs, one for push, one for arms, etc., etc. Okay? So, ready to go on this first one. We're doing minute 1. You've got a little bit of choice here. So you can do either 30 plyo lunges or 20 regular rear lunges. Okay? Plyo lunges only if you've got that hip strength, or leg strength, hip strength, and hip stability. If you find you're wobbling all over the place, just do normal rear lunges, 20 of them because they're slower. Okay, 30 plyo lunges is a lot tougher than you think. Doesn't leave you a lot of rest at the end of the minute. And then we're straight into our isometric hold, which for this round is going to be an isometric prone fly, which is all about the back, the pull, the posterior chain. So let me show you each. Minute 1, plyo lunge. So I'm coming from this lunge position, shoulder, hip, knee, toe, in line. Okay, what I don't want is this. If you like that, straight away, you're unstable, you've got all this internal rotation in a weak position. Okay? Keep this line, your old train tracks. Drive up, and then land into the opposite side. Drop that knee, ideally down to the floor or as close as you can, under tension. Drive up and switch. Oh, and then people think, if you're not comfortable doing that, okay, that's fine. You're going to do 20 regular rear lunges. Okay, same rules apply though. Okay, lunge out there. Imagine you stood on the corners of a rectangle. Lunge to the back corner of that rectangle, back corner. Not like this. You've got to eliminate that internal rotation all the time. So that's minute 1, minute 2. Isometric prone fly. You want your dumbbells, and you honestly won't need a lot. Okay? Right. First of all, you've got a hinge. Okay, we've got to know about this a lot. Okay? Knees, soften, and then press them out. And then hips back, sit back, sit back, sit back. Chest comes down. So I'm ideally in this parallel to the floor position. You might be a bit higher, that's okay. But once you get a full length in your hamstrings and glutes, you want to be nice and low. Then I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to hold them there and squeeze that. The upper back muscles, squeeze the shoulder blades for 40 seconds continuous. Okay, you then get 20 seconds rest, and then we're straight into round 2. We're doing 4 rounds. Okay? Yeah, everybody. Usually change your mind on that one about what weight you're using. Okay. Right, let me just set the time then. So, minute 1, and all the odds. 30 plyo lunges or 20 regular rear lunges. Okay? And then 40 seconds isometric prone fly. Right, okay. 4 rounds, 8 minutes total. Right. Okay, we all ready there? Right, 3, 2. Just like the wind sings a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, baby, ooh, I said ooh. If the days go by. after. Right, get ready. Isometric hold, here we go. seconds, please. You're moving part one is press up squat thrust. Now your rep scheme here will depend very much on how fast you can do these. If you can bang them out, chest to floor, then 15 is your top end. If you're a little bit slower, then somewhere around the 10 region maybe. Okay? I'll let you adjust the reps to suit yourself. But try to use good form. Okay, so when you press up, remember, you're an arrow, okay, you're not a T. I'm saying it, the more I say it does sink in, because I know the people who've been doing these classes for a long time are all doing presses like that. It might take months, it might take a year, but everybody gets it in the end. Shoulders down, you can see the difference, how much more your muscles can assist. By pulling your shoulder blades down, you've got your lats and everything else to assist. Okay? Whereas in the T, you've got nothing. You're not strong. So it's worth resetting, letting your ego go, and resetting on your knees, and getting that elbows pulled down. Okay, up, in, out. Okay, doing them like that, say around sort of 10, maybe even 8. Okay, anyway, if you can throw them out fast, chest to floor, in, out, then you're nearer 15, okay? Somewhere between those. Your isometric hold, so we're sticking in between legs, so it's an isometric squat. Squat, you're not hinging, whereas before you've got the deadlift move, you hinge with your swing, with your front foot. Squat, this time you lead with the knees are going to go out of the way to give space for your hips. So sitting, head and chest high. So from the side, looks like that. Isometric hold, brace your core, knees out, head and chest high. Okay, right, let's give it a go then. So 15 and 40 seconds. Okay. Right then, ready? 5 out. Okay, round 2. ISO hold, you can always go to the wall. If it gets too much, do a 90 degree wall sit. Very similar. Not a pushing alone. Right, go! Right, hold it. Energy. is anterior chain chest and abs, really, this one. Then we're going to use the kettlebell for the first one. So first minute, 20 swings. Okay, now if you're still mastering regular kettlebell swings, just stick with them. Okay? So, from the kettlebell on the floor, kettlebell in front of you. Okay? Grab the kettlebell, just rock gently forward. As you pull it in, it's ready to go. Through the thigh triangle, okay? There. Don't squat your swings. This is the biggest mistake of swings. If you're squatting them, you're not squatting them, you're hinging them. Okay, so it's just there. Look at the path of the kettlebell. Okay? It's almost hitting you in the bum, really. So you're hinging your hips, glutes. Again. Engage. Glutes there. You don't want to be doing this. Be there. Go through. Up. To keep the armpits just slightly closed, not like this. You don't want T-Rex arms either. Goes like that. When you've perfected it, you can then, if you want to, those of you who've been doing swings a while, add a little rear step. Not so much a lunge, but just a powerful step back and then back in. As it goes up, okay, there, back to the next one. Like this. So, 1, 2, 3. So you're just taking a big step back. Just working the legs a little bit more than usual. Only if you're 100% confident. Okay, the isometric hold is as follows. So you're doing the iron cross or crucifix. So, there's a lot of abs here. Start up. Lift your head and shoulders, that's key. If you keep your head back like this, it's much easier then for you to arch your lower back. Okay, but if you lift your head and shoulders, you'll feel your lower back very into the ground. That's what you want to maintain. It's your core's job to do that. So if you find you're arching your lower back, okay, when you're doing this exercise, it's because your core's not strong enough. Your lower spine isn't some precious thing that if it hurts, you must stop. It's just like anywhere else, it needs to be strengthened. And if you're finding that's happening, it's because your core's weak. So I'm sorry to say, it needs to be more of this. You need to make it easier, and then gradually make it harder as you go. Let me show you how. So yeah, so here, lift, lower, and then raise your legs. So I'm like a dish. So my lower back, I've got no choice. Unless I can levitate, if that's up, and my upper back's up, there's nowhere else for me to go. My lower back has to be in the ground. If you find it's unbearable and your lower back's kicking in, then do it with bend knees. So hold it there, bend the knees, and as you get better, you can slowly extend until you can hold that hollow body fully. You could argue the hollow body is fundamental, just like the squat hinge. Because really it is, I think, because it's the core function as it should. Anyway, there's the lecture. 40 seconds of that. Let's get underway. 20 swings or rear step swings. Crucifix. Okay, here we go to go. Okay. Right, minute 1 there. sure you've not got burpees for the final challenge. Final challenge is half best. Right, last one. Burpee, down, up, and a little double jump. Feet in the floor twice. Just to break it up and make it a little bit harder. So, if you've worked at burpees, 12. You've still very fast, 10. A little bit slower, 8. And if you're a complete beginner, we'll accept 6. So somewhere between 6 and 12. Right, your isometric hold. Arms, specifically triceps. This is your technique for this one. Bottoms up. Back of the head. And you're holding it there. Not here. Okay, and definitely not there, obviously. Unless you reach absolute exhaustion. Otherwise, there. So you're holding it just behind your head. Try to use every muscle. Plant yourself into the ground. Quads, glutes, abs. Okay? Right. If that gets too much, use a lighter weight. You can use 2 dumbbells, you can use 1 dumbbell, 1 kettlebell. It doesn't matter as long as you've got that weight behind your head. Okay, right. Get ready. Rest is up. Round 1 then. Burpees with 2 jumps. Okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Usually, you want to make it harder. Anyway, you do 16, then you come into the prone position, and you do 16 mountain climbers per side, so 32. You want to count like that? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Drive the knee in, make sure you're not going like this. Drive. Okay, then back. Reduce by 2. 14 sit-ups. 28 mountain climbers. 12 sit-ups. 24. All the way down in 2s until you do 2 and 2 each side. Okay? So as long as you do it with your 2 times table, you're all good. Okay. If you finish before the 5 minutes is up, you hold a plank to the last bell. You don't get to stop and walk away with a smug grin on your face. No, plank. So even if you get done, there's no point rushing using full form if you're capable of doing it properly, because you just hold a plank. So when you're done, plank to the bell, and then we're finally done. Okay. Right. 5-minute time cap. Okay, get ready then. Okay. So 5 minutes then. 16 sit-ups. And then 16 each side mountain climbers. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 16. massive post-exercise oxygen consumption. Massive metabolic lift there. You've worked your heart, your lungs, the pull muscles, the push, legs, core, arms, the lot. Right, we're going to reset and reboot now. Total mobility coming right up. Half an hour of deep stretching. Grab your mat. Prepare to relax. And reboot. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you tomorrow for the rubber band mat, bit of Tabata. See you there.